Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be. And we have another standing room only crowd for Drinks and Daves.
Where they all is, man?
How you doing, Dave?
Oh, I'm all right. Hey, you look a little older. That was awful. That was a happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
Our birthday was just yesterday.
Or as they say, or as a certain friend of mine says, Old Man Eisenhuth.
Old Man Eisen. That's got a good ring to it, actually.
Why do I have a feeling that's going to end? And well, no, it can't end up as a CT. We don't want to use my last name.
I got Snow Power.
Well, no, you could say Old Man Iron Hat because that's what it translates into.
Iron what?
Iron Hat.
Iron Hat?
Yeah, that's Eisenhuth.
What would you have an iron hat for? Like a helmet?
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking it was originally, was Iron Helmet.
You're kind of the special guy that had to wear the helmet around. Sit down.
Yeah, had a little little twirly on it. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate it. Hello, Linda. Thank you very much. Hello, Tig Lily, Bruce, old lead bottom. No, my bottom ain't lead. I've been told that it's firm but not lead. Don't even go there. Yeah, we don't want to go there.
Wow.
So, I'm wondering, with the topic of our show tonight, do we need to start talking like this?
Nope.
Because of the theme of this show. Okay. I was just wondering.
Certainly don't. But I love your background. We had a nice little quick, we were a few seconds late because we got into the MASH discussion, which we both love. Look, yeah. I haven't seen that show
Dr. Friedman.
forever.
Alan Airbus was his name, and he passed away a few years ago.
Oh, he should have gone by Friedman.
Dr. Friedman. Dr. Sidney Friedman, as they say. Yeah, MASH was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So what are you smoking tonight?
I am smoking.
Is that Sigmund in the background, by the way?
I believe it is.
Mr. Freud?
Yes. I whipped this up right quick before I logged
Now, is he smoking a cigar or is it a pen? It looks like a cigar.
It looks like a cigar. He's a smart man.
There you go. Yes,
maybe.
Tell us what. Please tell us. We tell you your problems, and we give you cancer because we blow the smoke in your face. A Rose of Sharon.
I'm like a Nazi from a movie, is what you said.
Oh yeah. You like to play bingo? Ooh, let's play bingo. But I finally went out and I restocked the humidor. And remember, I tried the petite Robustos of the Quorums. I went out and bought the full Robustos. I really like these.
So
it's a daily. Well, it's a daily driver. I mean, I can smoke one every day and not feel guilty. Now, if I would have smoked what I did for my birthday last night, I'd feel really guilty because that gets expensive. But
I was just thinking that when I looked this up because my humidor is remaining has just as many cigars as usual.
Don't inhale.
But fewer selections. Right. Yes. You kind of learn what you like. And so, you buy more of those. And I was thinking, because every time I find one I hit on, I'm like, oh, this is a good one. I think I could just have a humidor just full of these. But then after 3 or 4, you're like, I'm ready for something else.
Well, like with these, I didn't buy the Maduro this time. I bought the shades because they're nice. And I bought the sun-grown instead. And just a little bit of a different flavor.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. What are you drinking?
I am drinking a single barrel Lafroig.
Ah.
Old, you can't even see it. Old Particular.
Oh, very nice. I didn't even know that was me. Really interesting.
You would like this. The nose notes are spent fireworks alongside peppercorns, beach bonfires, and streaky bacon.
Ooh, that sounds actually delicious.
Yeah.
As you know, last night for our birthday Zoom call, I was drinking my favorite cigar malt.
Did you finish that off?
Nope.
What?
No, because I'm saving a little bit more. Well, I'm saving the timing. So when I do finish it, I can walk and I'm in school right now. Leica and Kona are teaching me puppy dog eyes, and so I can go to my wife and say, honey, I'm out of cigar malt. Yeah, it's empty. I need to go get another one. So tonight, out of the wondrous Drinks and Dave's tankard, I'm drinking coffee.
People don't know that was our first generation logo, which was actually pretty cool, done by yourself there.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
That wasn't bad. What was it gonna? So you said your car was in the shop today. So I figure it's your birthday. You either were getting under car lights or you're getting it jacked up.
No, it's already jacked up. No, today was maintenance. It was oil change.
Oh, the Jeep.
Yeah, the Jeep.
Oh.
Yeah. And well, I won't go into the conversation when the mechanic called me. Needless to say, I don't have it back yet. It'll be back late tomorrow.
Oh, your version of maintenance and his were different.
Yeah. So,
I see.
But as P-Beat says from General, let me see if I can remember General Barker. Let me hold on a second. Henry, you realize you got a man on guard duty who's wearing a skirt? Well, yeah, General. He's got the legs for it. And we're speaking of. Come on, say it, Dave. Who are we talking about? Klinger.
I know. I just blanked.
Oh,
his favorite the Mud Hens and all that.
The Toledo Mud Hens. Yes,
Toledo Mud Hens.
Toledo Mud Hens.
Yeah.
But then towards the end of the show, after Radar left, he got away from the dresses and see. I thought that was part of his shtick. I liked it. So
yeah, a little much.
But,
so what else? After this, is your Jeep ready to go?
Yes, it'll be ready to go for the trip, the long trip to the mountains.
Yeah, I was telling you, I haven't seen MASH. I don't know, for years and years and years. Is it still on where you live?
Mm-hmm.
You got
we have. Well, actually, you probably have whatever your CBS affiliate is. They have another channel called MeTV. I'm sure METV.
Me.
Yeah, and it's on there. I mean, you got your old Star Trek, your old MASH, Get Smart, all those ones. So.
Yeah, we've talked off and on about like cutting the cord, and all the streaming services. It's super frustrating that you have to pick your streaming services based on what you want to watch, and you're still paying for. And so we've talked that I bought this poster of the 100 greatest movies or whatever. We're going through it, but we'll skip them if we can't stream them for free.
Right. And
there was one that my wife was really excited about watching, but wasn't free, so we skipped over it. Well, she just happened to think, there was one we knew we could watch for free. We went in Saturday to watch it, and it wasn't there anymore. And I thought,
they dropped it.
At beginning of the month, they changed what they're leasing or whatever. So she searched for that one that we couldn't see before, and that was streamable then. So we watched it, but it's like not only picking what streaming service, but the stuff they carry comes and goes. And
I've never seen, oh God, Tig Lily, help me out here. I just blanked. Billy Bob Thornton, Sling Blade. I've never seen Sling Blade. And I hear it's a fantastic movie. We have searched everywhere, but apparently he still owns the rights to that, and he hasn't leased it to anybody. So you can't find it. You can't even find it on Amazon.
I'll tell you, almost half of the movies that are on our list, you can't stream for free.
Yeah, you have to rent them or stuff. Now, if it's like a $3 rental, I'll do it. I mean, $3, big deal. But what was the movie you guys watched?
Crash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, pretty good. Pretty good story.
I didn't watch. I don't know if you watched the Academy Awards. I did not. I hear Conan O'Brien was great, but I thought Conclave was going to win everything. I really did, but it didn't even win place or show. I don't think so.
Did it win anything?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but
yeah,
I was surprised.
But I was thinking, I wish it was like music, because every service for the most part streams all the songs, and it's just a matter of who you're paying. So it's weird, the business behind movies and TV and all that stuff, where they're just one place and that's it. And there you go.
Oh, Conclave did get 2. Okay. What were they, Stephen, if you don't mind me asking? I would imagine probably, because I didn't know if Ray Fine got anything. I don't think he got Best Supporting Actor or Best Lead Actor.
P-Beat, what are you drinking? Normally he chimes right in. I know P-Beat's with us, but we don't know what's in his glass today.
That's true.
But good Zoom call. We had a Zoom call yesterday on your birthday, and that was a ton of fun, because it was like back in the COVID days where we had tons of people on the call. Like the screen was full.
Oh, I know. It was great. We had like 12 people, I think, total. The only one that missed was Jerry. But yeah, we had a lot of fun last night.
That was fun.
And then Scott wrote later why he couldn't be there. So that was kind of cool too. So that's kind of neat. Yes, Chinatown is hard to get a hold of, but it's worth it. It's such a good movie. Oh, he's drinking Gosling's Black Seal rum.
Black Seal. That was not in our tasting. I don't know how that is. I have to tell you, I don't remember. Was it a Zoom call or our show last week? I was drinking that. Is it the pirate rum? Is that what it was called? Pirate?
I think that was last week on our regular show.
That is so good. I mean, my first sip, and I was just like, drink that.
And I remember you never wanted to drink rum.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, again, variety, right? That's why I pulled out this Laphroaig, what we were talking about. I used to Laphroaig almost every day, different types of Laphroaig, and then you're like, well, I want something different, and then you forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, today.
Yes, I'm very interested in this topic. We talked about it very little today.
Yeah.
And it's all you.
So last time we did our advice, I went on and did like Ann Landers and stuff like that, right? And just got one answer. Well, I'm stealing this from other podcasts because they don't have a patent on it. But, on various social forums, they'll have threads about relationship advice, or the hot one is always, am I the asshole? So here's what I did. And then somebody complains about it. And was that wrong or not? Mm-hmm. And so then they read these things, they have the discussion, and then you can read the first few comments and see if people agree with you. And so I thought I would do that.
So wait, before you do that, let me make sure that everybody knows in the bar, this is audience participation.
And we're not limited. I did this so we'd have content, but if people have conundrums, actual problems, like what should I do? Did I did the right thing? Or this person did this to me. What do you think? Throw it in the chat. We can.
Well, wait a minute. Disclaimer. Dave and Dave are not professional therapists. This is their opinions only. So please understand. There.
Well, we're not professional until they pay us. If they want to pay us.
Yeah, but I just wanted to throw that disclaimer out there for liability reasons.
Well, yeah. Okay. Because we're big time.
Exactly. Right. Oh, so and by the way, wait.
Hold on.
We have made it to 123 subscribers.
There's no holding us back now.
No.
We're about to, it's a hard climb up. It's like Everest, but you hit that tipping point and all of a sudden we'll be viral and
you'll run out of breath and fall off the cliff.
That's it. We'll give up. We'll just give up. It's like, that was a lot of work for not a lot of payoff. Right?
Exactly.
I just had the same view 3 hours ago from lower on the hill.
Okay, let's get to it.
All right. The title is Boyfriend's Behavior in Restaurants Leaves Me Embarrassed. How can I avoid such scenario? This is an easy one. I'm not getting into the deep and heavy yet.
Okay.
So whenever me and my boyfriend go to a restaurant, he would often order something he visions in a certain way in his head, which is different from the way it's actually supposed to be. And when his food arrives, he starts complaining it's not what he had in mind. Mind you, this occurs 8 out of 10 times. For instance, yesterday he ordered an espresso macchiato. A couple minutes later, the waiter brings him exactly that. After which he freaked out, whining about not being able to get decent coffee, why he always had to suffer from getting this little shitty-ass cup of coffee. I used to work as a barista, so I know my way around coffee, and explained that he got perfectly prepared espresso macchiato. Apparently, he automatically assumed that he'd get a large cup of black coffee with milk just because of the word macchiato. Then this morning, whilst we were getting brunch, I recommended him the toasted sandwiches, pointing at the list of ingredients, reading the name of it out loud simultaneously. He liked the sound of the veggie cheese, so he agreed to that. The waiter brings his veggie toast. He whips the sandwich open, frantically searching for the eggs, asked him what eggs. He tells me he understood eggs and cheese instead of veggie cheese and didn't bother to look at the menu as he trusted me. This is probably the 5th time in a row that the same incident occurs, and I'm getting frustrated with him refusing to learn at least a few basic types of coffee since he's already consuming it on a regular basis. Literally not one of my friends has ever done something remotely similar to this. How am I supposed to handle this behavior? What do you think of this guy?
I think he needs to get booted to the curb, because I think he ordered a macchiato and he didn't have any idea what it meant. So he figured, oh, let's order a macchiato. I'll be bougie, so to speak. And yeah, if his girlfriend is telling him exactly what's in the sandwich, and he still doesn't get it, or in the coffee, it's like,
Uh-huh.
dude, just order a Coke, and be done with it. No, I have an issue.
You're going to end the relationship over him being
Well,
a pill at the
but
restaurant.
remember, this has happened. There's a pattern here.
Yeah,
It's
there
happened
is. Yeah,
5
yeah.
out of 8 times, which means unless he changes entirely, then he's probably going to remain the same. And it would scare me. Bruce just said he doesn't eat out. So if his wife says, "Hun, do you want a bologna sandwich?" and she brings it out and he opens it up, 3 dangerous things could happen. One, it was supposed to have mustard, not mayo, or vice versa. Or,
Yeah.
oh, I thought you said fried bologna or wheat toast. Yeah, no.
So you're saying it's going to spill over into other. That's a good point. Is this a pattern that he has unverbalized expectations that he's just going to keep?
Now, is that going to lead off into expectations about her too? Now, PB brought up a good point. Did the girlfriend pay? If the girlfriend didn't pay, okay, I'll give him a little bit of a pass, but still, he's a jackwagon. I mean, if you got to read the menu, because usually, and the poor, and I guarantee you, based on what she said, not knowing, he probably gave a hard time to the waiter or waitress, whoever it may be.
Right.
And those people work hard. They work.
Well, the other thing is a lack of a little bit of self-awareness that after how many times do you have to realize that you keep expecting something different than what shows up and realize the common problem is you.
Well, we had
he's not
right. We had some acquaintances and we went out for lunch and dinner a few times, and it used to drive us crazy because the girlfriend would look at her boyfriend and say, "Do I like that?" Every time we went out and eat, and it's like you want to reach back and say, "Listen, you little bleep princess, figure out what you like." It's not his job to tell you what you like.
Yeah.
So,
well, I get that, at certain restaurants, you forget I ordered that. It's been so long, but if it's every time, that's a little weird. No, I like the Bruce's thing of like, well, just don't take him out to eat anymore. That solves that problem. But I think you had a good point. It can bleed over. Yeah.
There's only 14 ice cubes in my Coca-Cola, not 15. That type of stuff.
Well, you should have a word with your help. Yeah. So the number one comment on this is, I hate to break it to you, but it sounds like he's straight up stupid. I like that.
Ours were mild.
Yeah. So here's another highlighted one. He does this on purpose. He loves making a scene. He loves embarrassing people. He loves how it makes you feel. I'd probably go ask him why he does what he does, but honestly, I wouldn't expect an actual answer. This behavior is probably the tip of the iceberg. Can you be happy with such a guy? Boom. Dave got it on the nose.
Boom.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, wait a minute.
What is this?
Oh, I may be in trouble. And this is from Tig Lily. In my defense, when the waitress said, okay, I got to read this. When the waitress said, "We jumbo shrimp," I think it said, "We have jumbo shrimp." I didn't. Okay. I got to tell this story. I'm surprised that she brought this up. So we were in New Orleans, and New Orleans, you eat Cajun food, and the waitress did not indicate what type of what type of go ahead, what type of shrimp that she was going to get. And so, I ordered gumbo or something like that, and everybody else ordered other things. Well, these shrimp come out, and they were whole shrimp, the whole thing. How they serve them in a broth and buttery. And poor Sharon, there was no way she could hold on to those shrimp. And the eyes are looking at her, and people are watching her, and she's trying to fumble with these shrimp. And that was it. It was not a good meal for her. So I would agree in that case that, yeah. And then the problem is, though, some people, and I won't mention any names, will get a meal if they're out with a lot of people. And if it's not the way they like it, rather than causing a problem or keeping people from waiting to eat, because, the common courtesy is if somebody doesn't like something and they haven't gotten their food yet, you wait.
You got to wait. Yeah.
And, what I usually do, if there's something that's wrong, I'll say, I'll get something else, but you guys go ahead and eat. I'll eat down the road. But I think that was part of the frustration, is that we were with a large group of people that we didn't know exorbitantly well, and she didn't want to appear like she was being, but I could see her struggling. Well, think about it. If you've got butter, garlic butter on a shrimp, which is a shell animal anyways, yeah, I'm surprised they didn't get launched across the restaurant, to be honest with you. So,
well, no, that one's not on who. I mean, unless you're like so you said you were in New Orleans?
Right.
So there, if you grew up there, you probably knew it comes with eyeballs and what's the feelers and all that stuff. But if you, I mean, that's not.
Well, but the thing is, you would also think that the waiter would say, "Is this your first time having whole jumbo shrimp?" Yes, it is. Well, let me show you an easy way, because the first time I ate crawfish, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Yeah, and I was shown that you twist, put, and then you do it. So I put some of that onus on the waiter to say, "Hey, let me show you how to eat this the right way."
I see that you're fumbling, not eating it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, if you get something that is like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be that, will you not eat it and order something else? Or are you just like, well, I ordered it, my mistake.
Well, I've never had that happen. I've never had it happen. Like the first time I had escargot, you look at it and say, okay, snails, and you slurp it right out. Yeah, I as far as food is concerned, there's very little that I will not try. Now, if I don't like it, I'll still try it, and then I'll just kindly say, this ain't for me. Give me a bologna sandwich, or something like that. But that's never really happened, because I like oysters. And if you can get through an oyster, there ain't enough food alive that you can't eat. So
I saw I forget what we were watching, but they showed they have oyster shooters that look like it
looks like a brain.
What is that? Bloody Mary mix with an oyster in it. And you drink the whole.
That would be awesome. I think that would be awesome. Yeah. Well, like PB just said, steak tartare. And see, I personally like it. Because, and you would know this, being from some German stock. You remember raw beef and onions? I think we talked about it. It's fantastic. And people say, oh, God, it's raw hamburger. No, it's ground sirloin that you mix with pepper and onions, and you spread it on rye bread. Oh, yeah, it's delicious.
See, I've never had steak tartare. Don't know if I like, but it's some things like that. They're expensive enough where I'm not just going to take a flying leap and give it a shot.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to try Wagyu sometime, and I know you've had it, and it's just, I guess it's life-changing, but
it's butter.
Yeah,
it's butter.
And again, Drinks and Dave's ends up on food.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wish we had one of those things where we could put up a little score, like ding, 1, Okay, what's next?
All right. My mother-in-law told me for a birthday present she'd like me to be a better husband to my wife. Is this something I need to deal with? All right. My mother-in-law was over at our place this weekend. Her and I woke up early on Sunday while my wife was still asleep. As we were having tea, let's talk about bougie. The topic of her upcoming birthday came up. I asked what she'd like. She paused for a second, and while smiling, say, "For you to be a better husband." I felt like someone had punched me in the gut. She was smiling, so I thought it was a joke. We have a warm relationship, and I played along saying, "Why? You've been receiving a lot of complaints about me?" Jokingly. She replied, "I have my ways. I am your mother-in-law after all," while still smiling. It was kind of freaking me out internally. Come to the conclusion it was just her teasing and let the matter drop. But I've been rethinking that conversation over the last 2 days. Admittedly, I've been giving less time to my wife, partner of 3 years, married for 2, and my 1-year-old daughter recently, because along with my day job, I've also been establishing my growing business. Some days are really long, but my wife has been supporting me the entire way. I haven't brought this up with my wife because maybe this was a joke, and I don't want to create a whole thing of a joke and ruin my relationship with my mother-in-law. But I've had a knot in my stomach since. Has my marriage been on the rocks without me knowing this? Or is this something mother-in-law would joke about?
Well, I think, number one, we don't have enough information. 2, I think he's making a mountain out of a molehill for a couple of reasons. 1, indeed, she could be joking. And grow a set, buddy, and ask your mother-in-law, were you kidding or were you serious? Then you open up the conversation. telling the wife, you should say, hey, your mom kind of got down on me and said that I should be a better husband. What do you think? Then he's going to know, because that the daughter and the mother have been speaking in some way, shape, or form. So she would know. If she doesn't know anything about it and she wasn't serious, then it's one of those things where, listen, Beulah, stay the hell out of our relationship.
That's right. That's right. So, right. So yours is gather more information is the answer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would think that if mother-in-law was serious, that she would have given an example or two.
Right.
Because be a better husband. What does that mean? Go to the gym, buy her more jewelry, quit your job, stay home more. Yeah.
Well, and if the wife is supporting him through all these endeavors, that's, and that what Tig Lily's saying is very good. He could ask her, what would that look like? Yeah, that's very good. I think that's a point for Tig. That's a good one.
That's a good point, though, that if the wife is being supportive with everything he's doing, right? Wouldn't she complain? We got to put this up here.
I wanted to do something nice, so I bought my mother-in-law a chair. Now they won't let me plug it in. I like that. But, another thing is, the first question I'd ask, do you guys have any kids? Because maybe that's mother-in-law's subtle way of saying, hey, I'm getting older and I want some grandbabies.
No, they said that they had a 1-year-old.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
But mother-in-laws will be mother-in-laws will be mother-in-laws. Right. Nobody's immune. Nobody.
Right. And I think you're right that if wife and mother-in-law have been talking, one, it could be venting sessions, right? Where you don't say all the wonderful stuff. You just say the stuff you're frustrated about. But
well, and I think also that, like I said, there's just not enough information to really know whether she was serious or not. And I think most mother-in-laws would agree is no matter who you are never going to be good enough for their little baby.
Right. So
that goes on both, and that's on the both sides. That's on both sides too, not just wife and mother-in-law. It could be, because my mom, God rest her soul, she was, and a certain individual will tell you, she's critical. I mean, if it was up to my mom, I would have married the perfect Puerto Rican girl. Period.
No.
Period.
Broke her heart.
But no, it's just that, and Sharon and my mom got along great, but my mom was very critical. So I get that. I get that.
Yeah. Well, plus the mother-in-law's version of what a good husband is might not be the wife's version, right? She might not want what.
That's right.
All right. You ready for the top comment here?
Yes.
Okay, look. Stop spiraling and speak to your wife immediately. I'm 29. My husband's 29. If my mother said this to him, I would want to know as soon as possible. If there are issues you're not aware of, time to air them out. If your mother-in-law is causing drama or making a shitty joke, these are different conversations you'll get to have once it's sorted. Communicate with your wife. Seriously.
Well, but, he did say one thing in there that says, be a better husband. She was smiling. See, that right there would tell me, unless she's maniacal. Well, unless she's a maniac.
Like, I'm not being a bitch, but you're kind of a jackass,
See, I never had that problem. My mother-in-law, she'd tell you straight in your face. She was unhappy with you. She'd tell you straight to your face. And I appreciated that, and we had a wonderful relationship. So
that's good. All right. We ready for another one?
Sure.
I'm waiting for something juicy from the barflies here.
That was a good one, though. Tig Lily gets the point for that one. That was perfect.
Uh-oh. Somebody deleted one.
Uh-oh.
It must have been they got in trouble for that one. Let's Oh, okay. My wife is upset about the fact that I picked her and our daughter over my mother in a medical emergency. I think she's being ridiculous, but she's acting like I betrayed her. Help.
So he picked his wife and his daughter over his mom for an emergency.
Right.
My advice is real simple.
We didn't get to the story yet.
Okay. Okay.
No. There's a lot to this one.
Okay.
My brother-in-law directed me. Oh, let's see. My wife and I have had the hypothetical who would you pick conversation in all 3 of her pregnancies, but I never thought it'd be a real life choice until 2 days ago when my wife went into labor with our daughter and my mother fainted and hit her head badly at my sister's house. We're already on the way to the hospital after dropping our boys off at my mother-in-law's house when my sister called and told me my mother fainted and it was bad. I then told my sister that my wife was in labor. My wife has asked me why I was suddenly shaken, and I brushed it off, not wanting to stress her. Luckily, all went well with her labor, and our daughter was born healthy. Once everyone was settled, I told my wife what had happened and that my mom was relatively okay. Turns out the blood made it look worse than it was, and I told her I was going to go visit her and bring back food. When I came back, my wife asked about my mother. I updated her, and then she said I really did pick her. I told her, of course I did. My mother had my sister and brother, and besides that, she needed me, and I wasn't going to miss the birth of our daughter. Apparently, that was the wrong thing to say, since she looked at me weird and asked what our daughter had to do with it, and I got confused, but told her I wasn't missing our daughter's first breaths or her being born, just like I didn't miss those things with our 2 boys. Then she got this sad look on her face and said, I didn't really pick her then. I picked our daughter, and she came with a proxy. I told her that's not the case. I picked them both, especially since we wouldn't have had any of our kids without her, but she's being sad, crying often, looks at me like I betrayed her. I get that her body's going through some massive changes I wouldn't even begin to understand, but she's never been this emotional and sensitive after our boy's birth. Is it hormones? Is it because it's a girl in our last? Or is it because she's a girl and feels I'll care for our daughter more than her? I'm honestly lost. Help, please.
Well, a lot of moving parts there, but I think he is 100% correct, because if his mom would have been alone, that's a totally different animal. But his mother had the sister, the brother, so they were taking care of it. Obviously, mom hasn't complained about it.
No. The wife is mad. It's not about mother and
it's about the wife and the daughter, right?
Wife and daughter. She's saying, no, you didn't pick me. You were here because of your daughter.
I'm not a doctor, but that sounds like early onset postpartum depression is what it sounds like, because of course, I mean, to me, it's obvious. I mean, maybe one of the ladies in our audience can chime in, but to me, he said, I want to be there for the birth of our daughter. Well, the birth of the daughter ain't happening without you. And he said that. So I think it's her having some issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe I'm reading that wrong. Never had a baby, so I don't know,
What is it? Peyton Place. Maybe the newborn was the daughter's father's baby. Daughter's father's. Oh, what? I don't think I want to figure that one out.
No. Yeah, to me, I mean, maybe, and I don't know this for a fact, and you would, being in the medical field, do women that have boys, is there a different type of postpartum than there is with females?
Dude, I didn't do OB, man. I don't know. I just work with the babies. So the weird thing is that, boy, talk about splitting hairs, right? Your husband's there, knew his mom was hurt, but was there for you and your child, which should be more important than anybody in the family, your children, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like this whole, I've never had this conversation with anybody. Who would you pick in an emergency? And if it was your wife and a child, wouldn't you go to the child anyway?
Yeah. I mean, well, and the thing is, the guy should have said, well, honey, I could have been out drinking with the boys and having cigars, but I was
happy I'm here at all.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, that one's a weird one. I think that the mother, not the mother-in-law, but the mother needs to kind of reevaluate what she said, saying, oh, you were only here for my daughter. The daughter wasn't even born yet. So yeah, I don't know. That one's strange.
Okay. Here I go. This is kind of a long, this is the top answer.
Okay.
I think one of your comment might depend on what's actually going on with her, be at the heart of the issue. I picked both of them, especially since we wouldn't have any of our kids without her. She literally just expressed to you that she was upset because she believed you were only seeing her, choosing her as a proxy for your daughter. Then you described her not as the love of your life or person in her own right that you couldn't live without, but of value because she produced your children. This is what women are talking about when they say they are treated as incubators and not allowed an identity beyond mother or, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can be down with that one.
Well, but is, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like the mother is jealous of her newborn daughter. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like there's a jealousy component there.
And I don't want to try to find, there's tons and tons of comments. There is that. I know I read that before. Is that, is that going on there, that she's got a daughter and she's afraid that you might love the daughter more than the wife now, kind of thing. But they do bring up the whole postpartum thing, and there could be that going on. But
that's interesting.
Holy cow, this guy! Have you so I was saying, I've never had this conversation of, have you ever had those? Is that a thing?
No.
That kind of seems like one of those that you got to know what the right answer is, regardless of what you would do, so you don't get in trouble answering it.
Because, well, he was between a rock and a hard place. Because let's say he would have chosen his mom. Oh, that would have opened up a whole nother can of worms.
Right. Yeah. He just needed to say, of course, I'm here for you. That's what she wanted to hear. But right. You're freaking having a baby. I mean, yeah. There you go. Figure the mother-daughter were a package, not a trap, right? And that's what she's saying is we don't know.
Wow, that's Tiglily's 2 for 2. She's I'm learning a lot tonight.
Yeah. Okay. You ready? We've got time for at least one more. Here's a juicy one. Well, maybe not. My fiance of 3 years broke my boundaries on his bachelor trip. How do I handle this?
What are the boundaries?
So my fiance went away last weekend for his bachelor trip. I've been clear about my boundaries in our relationship and shared with him prior to this trip I would not be comfortable with a strip club. I was told the trip would be centered on golfing, nice dinners, other outdoor activities. Mentioned it to again that I did not want him going to a strip club, and that if he went, he would at least need to communicate with me. The first day was fine, but everything went south day 2. Around midnight, he stopped texting me randomly, and I checked his location before I went to bed, assuming he was still out at a casino. His location showed they were at a cabaret. My heart dropped. He didn't text me back or talk to me until he left. I called him, obviously upset, to which he said, "You're overreacting, and I'm just having fun on my bachelor trip." I was flooded with the emotions, anger, anxiety, sadness. The next couple of days, he said the same story to me, which I knew was not the full truth. He told me he sat at a table and drank beer and didn't get a dance. When he got home from his trip 3 days later, finally confessed he got a dance from a topless girl and she was in his lap. There were more not great things from this trip, really stupid situations, but nothing else revolving girls. He has never done anything, to my knowledge, that shows a pattern of behavior, never done anything in the past to make me not trust him or question his loyalty to me. Having a really hard time navigating this. I've been with him for 3 years. We're less than 3 weeks away from our wedding. I, of course, love him, but trying to navigate my feelings on this is rough. Since he has apologized and taking accountability that, 1, he did the wrong thing, he did not respect my boundaries, and understands he handled it poorly. Any advice is appreciated.
Okay, I got 3 things. 1, I would say doom. Right out of the gate, I would say doom, and here's why. She checked his location.
Yeah.
She checked his location. Okay, they've been together for 3 years. They're getting ready to get married. There's this little word that you probably should have been talking about a long time ago, and it's called trust. If he wants to marry you, why are you checking in on his location? Are you afraid that he's going to step out on you? Now, I may have a different feeling about strip clubs and stuff like that. It's his bachelor party. I mean, just because he's watching somebody shake their hoo-ha and their tatas in front of him doesn't mean that's what he wants to go after. And if she doesn't know that up front, again, doom. because you got to know that.
Mm.
Or what he could have done says, well, honey, would you have gone with me if I would have invited you?
Okay.
You know,
Well,
I
I
mean,
think a couple of things though, because what I get from the story though, is she said, "This is the one thing I don't want," more than once. He said, "Okay," and then he went and did it anyway.
and I can tell you why. How many guys was he with?
It doesn't
Because,
say.
well, it does, because for a
Peer
fact
pressure, right?
a
Yeah.
bunch of guys get together and say, "Oh, come on, come on, come on." He didn't lie to her and say I didn't go. I mean, he did the first
But
part where he said he didn't go to dance. That I will agree, he screwed up there. But to me, the big thing that stands out is that she checked his location.
you know
That
that
bothers me.
again, I'll say generational. We're not like of a big, uh, different generation, but that's pretty normal now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll just be curious. I'll check my wife to see if she's still at work or she's on her way home.
Well,
It's
but
quicker than a text and all that stuff. Or
but that's a little different because I don't know. I mean, because was she looking for him to be doing stuff, or was she worried that he was laying in a gutter somewhere? And as far as what Bruce said about broken trust, I think the broken trust is on both sides. I don't think they have a
Mm,
foundation. I don't think they have a foundation yet. And to be getting married in a couple weeks after 3 years, I don't know. See, I just say, yeah, like both sides.
yeah.
But to me,
So,
this sounds like doom to me. It really does.
so I'm looking at the ages. The woman is 29. The man is 26. I
Oh,
was gonna say if they were younger, because you do get that, like especially if you haven't had a lot of relationships, you do feel like I don't want you looking at anybody else. I don't want them looking at you. That whole thing, and so I would say, regardless of appropriateness. So one, she, I don't know that she should have said, "I don't want you doing that," knowing that that's a big part of a lot of people's the big bachelor party and stuff like that, right? To say, "I don't want you looking at naked women," I guess that's her prerogative, but
sure.
it's like you said, that you're getting married, he's coming home with you, if they're not touching
Yeah,
and
but
all that
see,
kind
here's
of
the
stuff.
thing.
But here
Once,
you go.
but yeah, but I don't know. Bruce, I disagree with you, but that's okay.
Well, so
But
but the
here's the
time
thing.
for that conversation was before he went.
Exactly.
If he
And
if he wanted to, or possibility,
he should have said that.
or or called up and said, "Listen, I know you don't want me to. The guys all really want to go out. Not. She probably still would have said no or whatever. And then you're like in that situation of like, okay, I know nothing's gonna happen. I'm still gonna come home and get married to her, but this will make her very upset. So
Right.
is it
Right.
worth going and doing this one thing on it sounded like 3-4 day weekend or something,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
having my
Well,
fiance pissed off?
and the irony about this is, so they're 3 years together, about to get married. Jump forward to 30 years married.
Yeah.
Okay. And the conversation is, hey, would you do that guy? Or, hey, would you do her? You have questions about hall passes. Everybody has a hall pass. Who's the hall pass?
Uh-huh.
And I think that that's when you have the ultimate trust, is
Uh-huh.
that old adage that says, he can look at the menu all day long, but if he orders anything off it, I'm going to cut parts of his body off. And I think that's where the trust is only going to get built with time and actions. So I'd say I would agree with Bruce saying that, yeah, they both screwed up, but I think there was a little bit of an overreaction.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's see. So the top comment is, you can't set boundaries up for someone else's behavior. Boundaries are for yourself. I don't marry guys who go to strip clubs, and if you're the one responsible for enforcing them. You told him that you were uncomfortable with it, but that's a request, and he's free to deny it. That doesn't mean he's free from consequences of the denial, but it does mean this wasn't crossing a I
well,
don't
that's
think
why
that.
that's why I said doom, because there's not enough communication between the two. How
Well,
did she present it? I mean, did she present it and said, Bobby, I don't want you to go to a strip club, and that was the end of it? Or did she say, Bob, listen, I want to have this conversation. You may or may not like it, but understand one thing.
yeah.
I do not want you to go. you're free to go and see the way she should have done it. She says, you're free to do what you want, but I will be very disappointed. Now, to me, being mad and being disappointed, I would rather have somebody mad at me than disappointed in me, because disappointed's for life.
Oh, here's a good response. I didn't read the whole thing through. Let's see. What advice do you want? You both handled this pretty well. You told him what you expected. He didn't listen. He apologized. You offer forgiveness, but still have negative feelings. That's all very healthy and normal. Obviously, the best answer is he never should have gone there. But as you said, this isn't a pattern, and it was a bachelor's trip. As most, it was a clique he wanted to fulfill. And at worst, it was a drunken mistake. At most, you could reinforce why you disapprove of strip clubs, but he's already apologized and admitted fault. At this point, you either get over it as slowly as you need, or you let it fester and cancel the wedding until you're over it.
Right. Well, and that, you brought up a good point. How drunk was he?
Yeah. Well,
it's hard to say.
I don't know that. I don't know. I could argue it's tough. You're right. I mean, all of these things, you don't have all the information, because
Right.
Is that any better? Like, if he's going to go out and drink, then he does stuff that is irresponsible in her eyes.
Right.
All
comes down to communication and getting to know the person.
Imagine that.
Give me another one. We're ready. We got plenty of time.
We got plenty. Let me see, because I was saving. Okay, here's our last one. This might be the juice. Oh man, they deleted that one too. Man, man.
It's not.
Let me see if I can remember. So the title of this is, and I'll try to recap it. I'm married with no kids, who might be falling for my boss, who is married with 2 young kids. And the situation is, this man, who's 6 years older than she is, they're both in their 30s, came in to the company as her boss, very friendly with her, does things that some might see kind of crossing the boundaries. I know she said that he lets her feed him food. She noticed him looking at her across rooms at big events and things, and having one-on-one dinners after work, that type of a thing. And she feels like she's kind of getting very interested in him. What should she do about it?
Well, one of two things. Either is this an infatuatory thing? Is she infatuated with him? But more importantly, the boss, way out of line. I mean, way out of line for a couple of reasons. One, he's got to know she's married. But then again, we don't have all the information. Did she tell him that she was married? We don't know that. But yeah, the boss is way out of line. I mean, that old adage is that you don't play in your own litter box. I mean, that's no. And then on her side of it, if that's what if she's feeling that way, and if she feels that it could go somewhere, she immediately needs to talk to her husband and let the cards fall. Because if she's having emotional feelings for this guy, that means that she's replacing something that she should have for her husband, her kids, and everything else. So she's got to be honest. And if she goes to her husband and says, listen, this is what I'm feeling, one of two things is going to happen. He's going to look at her and say, honey, I love you. Why are you doing this? Is it something I'm doing? Or that's it. But that is a consequence of what she's feeling. And the boss should lose his job, as far as I'm concerned. I think that's a scumbag, because if he knows she's married, he's a predator, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that people did point out, again, you heard how long these stories are, is that she never once mentioned her husband and the retelling of all of this. And it's like, okay, you know about his wife, you know about his kids. So you're not only, messing with the relationship, there's children involved, but you have never mentioned your husband. So what's going on there? And
and that's just it. We don't know. He could be beating the hell out of her. You don't know, or he could have stepped out on her. And if that's the case, then you know what?
Yeah.
End it, because what's going to happen is, instead of 2 people being hurt, there's going to be 6 people being hurt, Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I can still show the top comments. Why are you feeding him? I really don't know what kind of advice you're expecting. Married people have chemistry with others all the time. You're the one crossing all the lines and getting closer to this dude. You're already cheating. You don't deserve a husband.
All right. That was probably written by a female.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A female named Hannah Jamma Jamma.
But she's right, though. I mean, the feeding thing, that's that's border fetish stuff. And the guy, the boss, well, first of all, the boss, you don't get involved with people that you're supervising. Well, you just don't do it.
Yeah. It's really, I don't know if I've wondered that, I'm in a very corporate job and kind of very unrelated to this, but there are times where, my staff is kind of split up. Some are nurses, some are not nurses. So they do very different things. And multiple times I thought it'd be nice just to have a meeting with just the nurses, have a lunch or whatever, and talk about that stuff. But visually, that's terrible. How does that make everybody else feel that's in the department? We're all one group, right? And you're pulling off certain people. As a boss, it's like, what the?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, and it's probably more exacerbated in today's world, as opposed to, because, and the thing is, you used to be able, well, from the corporate standpoint, when I was in corporate America, the old water cooler conversations, you can't have those anymore. I mean, you just can't. But to me, the two things that really stand out are, one, that if the boss knew that she was married, he's a scumbag. If she is having feelings for him and letting him think that it's going to progress into something more, that's another thing, and I feel bad for the husband in this whole thing. But again, we don't have the whole, don't have the whole story.
Yeah, and a lot of the comments are, what could possibly become of this? You guys get together, you've destroyed 2 marriages, a family, probably your jobs.
This was an excellent movie. I can't remember the name of the movie, but I remember this because Fred MacMurray, it was the only role that Fred MacMurray played where he was a SOB. Because everybody loved Fred MacMurray and all his, My Three Sons, and he was always just the good guy. But in this movie, he was a scumbag. And I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was actually a good movie. Shirley MacLaine, and yeah, and yeah, it was a good movie. The Apartment, there it is.
Yeah. So there we go. Next time,
well, come on, wait. 57 minutes. We can do one more. Find one more. One more.
All right.
We're having so much fun.
I was hoping I sent the best for, because this one's kind of. All right. So this will be maybe a quick one.
Okay.
I sent a text breaking up. Oh, if I sent a text breaking up, is that ghosting? I've been with my guy for almost 4 years. Again, these are past mid-30s people. I barely like him and don't love him anymore. Our communication doesn't mesh. I usually feel pity or belittled. I broke up with him via text 8 days ago and blocked him immediately. Last night, he found someone else's phone to call and text me from. I don't think it matters what he said, but he's hurt. It included a bit about my mental health and that nobody else will be there for me like he was, how he was there for me at my lowest or when I was down, most of our relationship, etc. I don't know what to do. It doesn't feel safe for me to open lines of communication. We've had glimmers of the breakup conversation before, but the feedback I get is that I'm unrealistic, and here's how our relationships are. Never plans, speaking in average once per week, hasn't met most of my friends or family, not spending holidays, birthdays with each other, don't have any plans to move in together. Conversations are mostly silence when we speak. Can someone let me know your thoughts?
Well, right out of the gate, shame on you for breaking up with somebody via text. If you can't look somebody in the eye and say, I'm sorry, this ain't working, because the signs were all there, Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Unless there's violence. Again, we don't have all the information. So we actually have a question.
Wait. Oh, wait, because let's finish this one off quick.
Okay.
Let me see. So edit, they've updated this to reply to some people. Update, I texted, unblocked him, and we did have a phone call. My stance is, I'm done with this commitment. His stance is, I need you to stay with me. We've been through a lot. Please hear me out. We had a chat for 15 minutes. He started to sound very busy and rushed. He said he had to leave the house, I assumed to go to work, and he would call me back in 5 minutes to continue the conversation. He emphasized again, 5 minutes. That was 5 hours ago.
Doom. Just move on. Move on.
Yeah, but that whole we saw each other once a week.
Yeah.
Never met friends and family.
Yeah,
that was a joke. But yeah, I think that whole did we talk about this? The whole ghosting thing that seems to be a thing now, and I'm baffled by that. That even if it's text, because especially teens, younger folks, it's all conversations online and all this stuff. But to not say a dang word to somebody,
yeah, that's just
I can't remember. Okay,
all right. So let's read this
final
one.
Go ahead.
I got it. Your thoughts. Freud had a very friendly relationship, and I'm assuming he's talking about Sigmund, had a very friendly relationship with his future sister-in-law, Mina Bernays, who had been engaged to a friend of his. The friend died of tuberculosis. Well, again, when you say very friendly, if you're being intimate, then there's a problem. But if they were just friends and it was his future sister-in-law, not having every bit of the information, I don't know. But did he finally get together with Mina Bernays after the friend died of tuberculosis? That would be a question that I would ask.
He's been engaged to a friend of his. Yeah, I mean, I don't yeah.
It was intimate. So it was intimate.
Sister-in-law. Well,
yeah, okay.
You just thrown out a softball. That's not cool.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. If Freud slept,
although, people are into some freaky stuff, so it'd be like, did his future wife know about that? Oh wait, no, wait. So this is future sister-in-law. No, okay. I was wondering if it was a brother's sister.
Oh no, so if it was his future sister-in-law, it was his brother's fiance.
No,
yeah, if it was his future sister-in-law, it either had to be a brother or a sister's. Well,
it could have been his wife's sister, which I assume wife. So he slept with his wife's sister.
Yeah,
right.
Still wrong.
So unless the wife was down for that, then come on.
Yeah, no.
Freud was a little. I think Freud has a lot of history that I've heard whiffs of that I've never.
We can't post that, P-Beat. But yeah,
I haven't read about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
Right. Well, so next time I've already learned through this one. That's good trial and error. That I can't.
These are good though.
I can't just link these. I got to screenshot the story in case they take that thing down. Two of them that got removed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But boy.
So, well, and just a quick program note: there will not be a show next week unless you want to hear me go. Welcome to Jim and Dave.
Well, they do. They do. And live streaming your surgery? You didn't go for that?
No, I'm not going to live stream my oral surgery. That's gross. Yeah, did those come from Reddit by chance? Yeah. Oh, okay. And Reddit Reddit sometimes though you wonder if some of those stories are made up.
Yeah, people get called out for that all the time, but it's a good conversation.
Sure, absolutely.
Offer. So, well, hopefully within the next week, I'll get around to actually packaging up gin. So maybe your return to Drinks and Dave's with fewer, or you're not going to, you got fewer teeth. They're going to take out some of your wisdom.
They're taking, they're taking out the one they should have taken out when I had my wisdom teeth out years ago.
So maybe it'll be a gin tasting in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think we might be able to do that. We'll have to see how it's going.
That's a good antiseptic too. You cut down on chances of infection if you're swishing alcohol around in there.
Oh, I'm sure that would just feel wonderful.
Well, it's a week after. You'll be fine.
That's true.
No Doritos maybe for a while, but
yeah, that's true. No Doritos, and no cigars either.
Yeah.
Dry socket. You never want dry socket, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
I've never had it, so.
Don't straight. Although, boy, talk about a challenge shave. Can you shave with half your face numb?
Oh, there's a.
I don't know that I would want you to tempt that one. If you can't feel the pressure on your skin, I mean, I kind of want to watch it, but
yeah, that might be the big one at Daytona. That might be the big wreck. So
that's it. But wait, you shave other people for a living.
So I probably could
feel the pressure.
I could probably get away with it. I probably could get away. I'm not
because I've wondered that. Like, if I come to your barber shop, would you let me shave you?
Would I let you shave me?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Would you?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd be scared to death just for that fact that if you're not used to, maybe a couple swipes and you'd be like, okay, I can feel
but
the pressure on the
be
blade.
surprised because, well, I was going to say the feedback that you get through, from the blade to the actual, to where the spine, you actually feel those vibrations.
Yeah.
In fact, like with you, because I know how your beard is, when you come to the shop and I shave you, it's going to be a wedge and it's going to be a very heavy razor because I know you have a thick beard. So, and very careful around the knuckle region.
Easy on the knuckle. It would be much easier to pull traction on somebody else, I think, too.
Oh, it is,
because you can hand on them.
You can stretch this all the way up to here if you need to, so exactly. So I think this was a good show. We're going to have to do more of these, I think. I think that would be fun to do more of these. So anyhow, folks, so enjoy our week off.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Yeah. So anyhow, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We certainly appreciate it as always. And please like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and give us some comments and some show ideas, because you wouldn't believe how tough it is. And thank you, Stephen. Happy dentaling. I like that. So, because it's tough. We have a conversation every week figuring out what the show is going to be. And sometimes it's like, what do you want to do the show about? I don't know. What do you want to do? Let's just wing it. So it's tough.
We're professionals. We pull it off.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, so anyhow, everybody have a wonderful rest of the week. Hopefully everything's good with your families and everything else. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. Say goodnight, Dave.
Night, Dave.
Take care, folks.